Hello there, Star Wars fans, and welcome back to another RebelScum.com video review. And today we have another Micro Galaxy Squadron review for you from Series 2, the LAAT gunship. And we're going to go ahead and pair this one with another one of those awesome mystery minis, but it's probably not the one you think. So anyway, before we get to that, here's the gunship. And this has got to be one of the coolest models they've done so far. Maybe the coolest. It might be the absolute coolest one. I think it's definitely my favorite so far. Gunship is one I've been looking forward to. It's one of my favorite Star Wars vehicles of all time. I will never forget the excitement I felt when I was like 5 or 6 years old, sitting there watching Attack of the Clones on the big screen for the first time ever, seeing them descend down into the Geonosis arena, and just the excitement, the charging music that they had, Yoda standing there with the clones, the droids just getting wiped out. Never forget the excitement I felt in that moment, and just the immediate need to have a gunship toy. And there were some really cool ones over the years. Not a lot of great ones for micro lines, though. Not a lot of great ones for micro lines, unfortunately. I mean, there was some miniature ones, sure, but nowhere close to as good as this one right here. This is definitely the best micro scale gunship. You will not change my mind. Unless someone does one after this that just improves upon this design here, this is the best one. I'm marking it now. Jazwares nailed it. So anyway, here it is. It looks awesome. You get 2 clones. You get a Phase 1 clone pilot and a Phase 1 clone trooper. You got some blueprint-like stuff on the back. Some features on the side. Some awesome gunship artwork on the side. And this is one of the first pieces of Series 2. I know we haven't reviewed all of Series 1 yet, but stay tuned because we do have more Series 1 reviews coming, and we are going to review all of it, so don't you worry. We're going to get you all that awesome Micro Galaxy Squadron coverage. Just stay tuned. And then, of course, on the inside, the artwork is like the Battle of Geonosis. You got some AAT, some droids, some clones, and other stuff. Really, really awesome artwork. I can't wait to see them do an ATTE, honestly. I really can't wait to see an ATTE. So one of the wings is down here in this under bubble tray, just below. Assembling the gunship is very easy. You just take the wing right here that we have. This just plugs right into the side. You'll hear a nice click, and then now it's fully assembled. Really, really sweet looking. I also hope that here pretty soon we'll start to see some, more chase variants of this as well. I would absolutely love to see, since next year is the 20th anniversary of Clone Wars and Hasbro's doing a bunch of 20th Clone Wars stuff, fingers crossed that Jazwares is going to do the Elite ARC Trooper gunship from the Tartakovsky Clone Wars series. I would just lose it. I would lose my mind if they did that. That would just be the coolest. So overall, really great, pretty well proportioned. I mean, it's not perfectly scaled. It could be, the body itself could be just a bit larger. And the reason I say that is because the bubble turrets are actually to scale, and they're not necessarily, obviously, to scale with the gunship itself. They're a little bit large in comparison to the gunship. Not by much, but it could do with just a tad scaling up, just a tad. It's just barely off, I feel. But overall, I do feel like they did a really good job. The cockpit does open up. You can fit 2 minifigs inside. You can put 2 pilots in there, which is why I feel it's a shame that we only get 1 pilot. And for right now, this is going to be the only way we can get a clone trooper pilot for a little while, it seems. So that's kind of a shame, because I want to have 2 pilots for my gunship, and you have to buy 2 gunships to get 2 pilots, but then that just leaves you with a second gunship with no pilots. See the problem I'm having here, Jazwares? One of the things we were talking about here around rebelscum.com is it would be a really cool idea, we feel like, if with the success of the mystery minis and the overall vehicles and sets themselves, that maybe in the future, maybe Series 3, Series 4, it would be a really good idea to start implementing some army builder packs as well, like Galoob Micro Machines used to do back in the day with their minifigs. And that way we can, you know, start filling out our gunship or some of the other playsets and vehicles as well. Or even do mystery minis for the minifigs themselves, aside from just doing mystery minis with the vehicle. I think that would be a cool idea as well. Who knows? It's just an idea. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the forums. Give us your suggestions as well as to something maybe in that vein that you would like to see coming in the future of the Micro Galaxy Squadron. So you can close that up. The laser cannons are on a ball joint, as they should be. That's how they articulate in canon as well, so that's really nice. You have some side-to-side movement with the ball turrets. No up or down movement, but they do open up, and you can put a full-size Micro Galaxy minifig inside, which is really awesome. That's perfect, I think. The bay doors do open, and they're supposed to be able to open without you taking them off like I just did. So let me put that back on. Okay, there we go. They do open. Just try to get in there. There's a little notch right here on the side that you're supposed to, that's supposed to help you, there we go, get there without actually pulling the door all the way off. So the door does articulate on both sides. You've got little racks for your troopers here or other characters. If you want to put some Jedi Knights in there too, you totally can. The rear turret articulates on a ball joint as well. And the rear hatch, if I can get in there. There we go. The rear hatch does open with a peg, just like the clear stands that come with the mystery mini vehicles, speeder bikes and such, is there for you to put either like a bark speeder, swoop bike, or maybe stick an ATRT inside, which is also a really cool feature. More on that in a moment. The wing turrets do swivel from side to side. They do rotate. You've got some awesome rocket details here on the bottom. And one of the other cool things is there's this awesome panel right here that you can just pull off. Take some, that one's on there really good. It takes some doing. It's really tough to get in there, because there's not, while there is the little piece sticking up, there's not really like a lip for you to catch your fingernail or something on. So what's happening is I'm just like sliding off of it. Let me grab a tool here. Now, try not to use like a sharp object. This is just something I had nearby. That worked. So as you can see, this whole panel comes right off, and it's a rather large panel. And underneath, you get to see all the rocket details in the top of the gunship, much like we saw on film. So you can either have that cover on or off, depending on how you like to display it. There really is no wrong way to display it with on or off, because in Attack of the Clones, that panel is not there. We can see them actively loading rockets into the main cannons up here up top, which really cool. Okay, so on to the little figures that we get with this thing right here. Like I said, we get a Phase 1 Clone Trooper pilot as well as a regular Phase 1 Clone Trooper. I feel as though we should have, with a piece like this, we should have gotten at least 4 figs. I feel like we should have gotten at least 2 regular Phase 1 Clone Troopers and at least 2 pilots. Both have the same articulation. I actually like that they detailed the pilot independently of the Phase 1 Trooper. What's nice is they didn't just repaint the Phase 1 Trooper. It is a separate molded figure. even has the little hoses and stuff on the back. The head sculpts are different. The trooper has the fin, the pilot does not, as it should be. The pilot has the little life support pack on his chest, the trooper does not. So they are different molds. And like I said, you can put them in the cockpit here, so open your cockpit up, take your pilot, put him in the seated position, pick whichever seat you want him to go in, set him in there, and there you go. And then, of course, like I said, the ball turret is also full size for one of these figures, so just do the same thing. Get him in his seated position. Get him inside. Close that turret up, and there you go. You got a trooper inside the turret. Now for the mystery mini we have for today's review. For us, it's not a mystery. I already know what's inside this. So, out of the first 8 mystery minis, today we're going to be also reviewing Ahsoka. You probably expected the clone trooper with the AT-RT. I thought about doing that one for this video, but I'm going to save it for another video. We're going to do Ahsoka today. So, Ahsoka comes with the swoop bike that she has when we first see her again in Season 7 of The Clone Wars. There's that stand I mentioned, earlier. Really awesome detail on the swoop bike. Got some little yellows on there, some different shades of grays on there. Take your little Ahsoka that has that same articulation as everybody else. Just take her here, fold her up. Or as we demonstrated back when we talked to Jazwares when these were first announced at Celebration, place it on that little peg there, and you can play with your little speeder, or of course you can display it on the stand, which I really like. And for that play feature I mentioned earlier, here you go. You can peg it on the back of the LAAT. You can close the hatch even with the figure on. And when you go to open the hatch, she's still sitting on the bike. That's awesome. That's one of the things I was saying, like, the gunship is just so dang cool. And then, of course, since we've already got a clone trooper on the turret, we've got a clone trooper, or a clone pilot, rather, flying the gunship. Man, that door is just difficult to open. There we go. And then I pulled the little rear ball turret out. There we go. We'll put that back in. So since we have the a clone pilot already sitting in the cockpit, we've got our other clone trooper sitting in the ball turret. Let's put a Jedi on the gunship, and that's what these little racks are for. You put them around the waist of your character so that they can safely ride in your vehicle without, totally falling out of it. Hey, stay on the thing. So you can deploy your characters into battle, which is really cool because we haven't reviewed it yet, but the upcoming Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter comes with a General Obi-Wan, so you can put other Jedi that you get in this line in here. I mean, really, you can put any of the figures that have come in this line so far into the LAAT, which is really neat. That's part of the fun of the Micro Galaxy Squadron line, is you get to mix and match, you get to put whatever figures in what, and there's a lot more coming very soon. So stay tuned for more awesome Micro Galaxy Squadron reviews. We do have some other cool things coming out of Series 2 very soon that we're going to be reviewing for you guys. Stay tuned for some of the other Series 1 content we've already done, and go back and check out some of the stuff we have done. Make sure you go to rebelscum.com daily for all kinds of awesome daily content. Like and subscribe. Follow us on social media. Check rebelscumshop.com for some awesome swag and merch. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. May the Force be with all of you. You Rebel Scum.